go into a little bit about what we're going to be talking about now. I need interaction in the chat this morning. And I want to see things that, if you guys don't see things that you're wanting to do or you don't know exactly what to do, throw it in there. So I'm going to take some time and I'm going to go slowly through this process so that you can really grasp what it is that we are doing and how it's going to work. So the very first thing that we are going to do is we're going to come up here to this little thing at the top, and you'll see that your create button that is currently there today will now be changed to Canvas Plus. Now, when you go in the process of Canvas Plus, it's all going to be the same that you're used to right now. You're going to create a new project, or you're going to use an existing project that you've already created. Now, you also see in the top up here, these are all the different projects that you have, right? So you can switch to them up here or whatever, but I'm going to just go through the process. Use the existing project that I already have. I'm actually going to build on a product that we have some assets for. I'm going to put it together and show you how you can actually use this for an actual product. And it doesn't matter what company it is. Any company. It doesn't matter if it's network marketing, if it's a service or a product, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to show that today. And then once I choose my project, I'm going to have two choices. I'm going to be able to choose our design editor, or I'm going to be able to choose the audio video editor. Now, I'm going to choose the audio video editor first. And as soon as I do that, you're going to see that the editor is loading up, and I have it all set up in here right now. So let me walk you through what pieces you're seeing right now. So the first thing you'll see a list of all of your menu items. From stickers. What are stickers? Well, they're just pre-built things that are in here that you can put in and drop on your project. Okay, these are kind of like what I call clip art, but they're there because for a lot of things they work well, especially for social media. If you're trying to do something on a meme basis, this is a good way to do it. Now we have shapes because we know that shapes are important in how you're starting to layer things. I'm going to show you some of that today. Obviously text, to be able to add your titles, your headlines, and your paragraphs. These are all set up. And yes, these are just ways to get you started. But when you get into it, you can actually control all your font types, all your sizes. We'll go through some of that today. Images. This is where you're going to see your imagery. And of course, if you want to add a file, you'll be able to do that. And I'm going to also show you this little button over here, this little slide out. You're going to really love here in a second, but we're going to deal with this menu first. Audio, and then your audio files are here. And if you just look at, when you hover over, you'll see a little play button at the bottom, and you can actually hear that when they come through. Now, I need to make sure, Corey, can you hear this music? Just let me know if you can hear that.
Yeah, we can hear it. It was kind of loud, actually, but I think it's fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I want to make sure it's going through. Okay, so then we have our videos. So any kind of videos you have, those would be pushed in here as well. And obviously these are videos that you upload and we'll bring in from our great project, right? Now you can do it uploads. You can bring a bunch of different files in without going to each one. You can do it that way. Your elements are going to actually show you all the elements. You can just kind of spin through them. And then you're going to have templates. And templates are going to be a way that you can easily start to create certain things. Now, I will say that the templates is going to be one of these things that will grow. And there'll be one of those things that we can add to literally on a weekly basis as we just keep putting more and more and more things out there. Now, one of the other places that you're going to see is you see this little checkbox right here in the second section. So if you have three sections in your editors at the top, you've got your left menu bar, then you have your parameters is what I call it, your settings for each one of these. And then you have your canvas, and your canvas is where you're actually going to design things. Now, if I close the templates, you're going to see that my document has all these settings, and this is where I can choose how I want my canvas laid out. Do I want it for a social feed? Well, that's going to give me a square. It's going to start at 1080 by 1080, but I could go in and say, hey, I just want them by 600 by 600. And now it's at 600 by 600. Now, I might want to also come down and say, hey, I want to do a story or reel. It's already going to have my aspect ratio ready to go. So for my YouTube shorts, my TikToks, my Facebook reels, my Instagram reels, all set, ready to go. Now, if I want to do HD, we have 4 different reasons or different ways to get to HD. And then you have your Ultra HD, which is your 4K. Yes, we can do all of those in this editor. Now, it's just switching it over, and now you see your canvas change. So that happens on all of these things. So if I come into my elements or whatever, this is just all going to let me just see what it is that I want to do. Let's go up at the top now. At the top, you'll see an undo and a redo. These are things to keep you, if you're like me, I'll do something and I'm like, oh, I didn't really want to do that, so I can undo it. You don't have to worry about, oh, I have to start over. So you have the undo options at the top. You're also going to see that you can switch between the design editor and the video editor. What's the difference? Well, they're laid out exactly the same, but what you're not going to see in the design editor would be your video and your audio, because those are going to be built into your video editor. But you can do the exact same things in the design editor. They work exactly the same way. Now, when you get up onto the Generate tab, this is allowing you to pull up drawers, and it will let you utilize all of the assets that you already have. And it will also let you create new stuff without ever leaving. When you're looking in the design editor, you're going to see some of these are grayed out because you can't use music, video, or audio, right, inside of the design editor. So they're grayed out. You don't have to worry about it. You can't get to them. But you can create images. You can use IntelliChat. You can use Spy. And you can go to your asset manager. So let's look at each one of these real quick. If I click images, you can see my editor is still open up here, but now I have all the abilities to do anything that I want inside of my image lab. It's all built right there. I can also go to my image gallery and I can see everything that I have. So let's just say I want this image and I want to use this image. You'll see that there is now a new little button down here. It's called Insert. When you hit Insert, you're going to get a notification. Hey, good, it's done. It's successfully there. You can actually hit this little X on your drawer. If I go to my images, my image is now there, and I can use it right inside of the editor. You can drag them around. You can blow them up. You can do whatever it is that you're wanting to do inside of the editor. Now, let's look at the rest of them. Let's just say that you wanted to write a headline. Well, how do you do that? Well, we'll just hit IntelliChat. And we're not just going to be like Ruby Assistant where we're bringing in, a drop down, all that, and you can do a little. We bring in the entire platform of IntelliChat. You have all of your abilities that you have there, including your side drawers to go in and do anchoring, to load in your prompts, and to use the editor if you wanted to continue to put something long format together. You have the ability to bring in your personas and, yes, connect all the voice and tones. And, of course, we also have the ability to use your modules. So all of it's built in to the editor. When I talk about demoing now, how this is all going to work, it's all by doing it just inside of the editor. You don't have to jump back and forth. I think it makes it a lot easier for people to understand how they can use everything and how much easier it is instead of going from here to here to here to here to here. Now, I just go in and demo and I can do it all so quickly, and it all works exactly the same as if you were on the full screen pages. Now, after you have your text and you want to look at it, Spy is also built in. You have the exact ability to go ahead and bring up your Ruby Assistant, by the way. You can carry this around anywhere on the screen. If you haven't gotten familiar with Ruby Assistant, I encourage you to get used to it because this is really one of the most dynamic pieces of Ruby. Once you start to use it, it's essentially IntelliChat in a little tiny box. And this will actually start to include vision and speech to text. So this will all be there, and it's just easy to do it. So create a headline for Fix, and I'm actually going to do this here for this product called Fix. I gotta type a little bit better for you. Create a headline for Fix that is short and concise, and I like to put in, when I'm doing this, by the way, things that it would be similar to, and so I don't have to go through a lot of explanation. I'm just wanting it to kind of hit something similar to what I'm thinking in my head, like get your fix, the holy grail of fat loss. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go like this now. And now, once I send this, I'm going to be able to go through and find any of these, right? Okay, I like it. Nah, I'm not so much on that one. So now I'm just going to flip it. I'm going to do it again. Guys, this is the fastest way to go through and just check and see, are you getting the very, very best from your LLMs? So I like it like maybe a little bit. No, I'm going to go actually probably with Google's down here. Be my next one I try. Let's see what it comes up with. There we go. Unleash. I really don't love unleash and unlock. So I might actually just say that up here. Do not use unleash or unlock. And the reason why I don't like that is because just about everything that it comes out of ChatGPT includes that word. And so I'm trying to avoid that. So let's see if we can come up there. Conquer cravings, own your body. So it's a little bit different, right? So now that I have that, I can actually hit insert. If you haven't used this tool before, it copies it for you with the clip of the button. And now anywhere I paste, it's going to put that. So I just paste it right into the box. I don't have to use my shortcuts, and I can do that again. And I can actually put it anywhere that I click, in the middle of a sentence or whatever. Okay. This is Spy built in. Now, look what else is kind of cool. I can go over here to my assets. Now, my assets are going to bring up all of the things that are being used inside of the project, okay? So anything that would be saved, anything that would be inside that project would be right here. Now, we don't have anything, right? We have some prompts, and that's really about it. That's in that project. All right, let's go over to the video real quick. Now, in video, you also see this thing at the very bottom. It's called your timeline. And this is where everything is actually attached. So you're going to add clips. Let's just add a clip real quick and say, oh, I want to add that image that we brought in. So I have my image now sitting up here, and I can add more clips to it, and I can extend them and connect them all together, and I can make this video longer. I can, just keep adding more clips. And just by hitting the play button, I'm going to be able to play it on the timeline. You're going to see the time. You're going to see all of the different pieces that are, a part of your video that you're sticking together here. Now I can also go to videos and say, okay, well, I want to composite on top of something. Well, you can definitely do layers. So on top of this video clip right here, let's just say I want to drop another video clip. Now I can move it around and I can do whatever I want to composite that. And then I actually can come up here and click the little plus sign. It's just going to copy it. So now I can put 3 or 4 of those across if I wanted to do something like that. Okay. Easy to move things around, easy to do stuff. And I can also just get rid of them if I don't want them anymore. Okay. Just hit the little bag. Done. Same little things that you're going to see on the imagery, except you're going to see audio and you're going to see video. Now, if you want to add a file, let's just say that you're wanting to add a video file that you already have. You'll just upload those onto from your computer, and you can bring your own clips in. You're also able to record, and I'm going to show you how to do that next time we do this, probably on Tuesday, because that's the piece that hasn't been pushed on yet. But it will be right here. You'll actually see a place up here with a camera. You click it, and you can record whatever you're using, including your mobile. So if you're using mobile and you're wanting to record yourself, you just click the camera. It's going to pull it up, and you can record everything you want to and drop it right into your editor. Doesn't matter which camera you guys, whatever camera you're choosing in your system, that's actually what's going to be brought in. Now, if I wanted to get rid of or trim, This is easy. I just drag these anywhere I want to make them shorter or longer. It's just that easy. Click and drag, super easy. On these clips, they also have these little action tabs. So I can move it to the right and say, I want to change the order. I want this to come after this. I just click move right. I don't have to go and try to drag them now. I can go and I can drag it and move things around, and if that's going to be the easier way for me to do it. But for me, I would just prefer to just click on my little edit button and move it to the right or move it to the left. So if I want to move left, I can move my clips and put them in any order that I wish. And of course, if I go back to play, it'll just keep playing it in that new order. If you haven't done the video editing like this, it won't take you long to figure it out. It's pretty simple. Now, what happens if you want to start putting more stuff on top like we did here? Well, let's go ahead and let's start, and I'm going to actually build one while we go. So I'm actually going to get rid of these clips so that we can start over. And I actually imported the video in that I want to use behind it. And so I'm going to drop it in. And it's just this person running. And it's I've got a couple of, cuts pushed together for it already. This was actually used in another project that we had. So it's just a video clip I can drop in. But it fits what I'm going to try to build on today. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring it in. Now, you can also go up to your generate. And as you see in the video editor, now everything is available to you. Why are IntelliChat and Spy? Well, because you still be creating scripts and audios and all kinds of stuff. So let's start with maybe an image. No, let's just start with video. Let's start with video. So when I go to video, I'm going to open up our video lab. All of our clips that we've ever used, saved, they're all going to be in here. And what's great about it, again, it's just a single click to put them in. So if I want this, that's great. I can actually see it and make sure that this is what I want. If I run over to my video gallery, you'll see all the videos that you have up in here, right? And I'd say I want to use this one right here. So if I click on it, here's our insert button. I can play it. I can make sure that that's what I want. And now I just hit insert. My video clip is now inside of my editor. If I go to my videos, here it is. Now, if I wanted to add that to the end, I can hit add clip and I can click on my video. And as you see down here, I'll have a nice little cut right to the other video that I just brought in. So very easy to move clips in and out from our generate tab. You can also create one there. Anything that you guys are seeing here that you're used to doing on the single pages over here, these work the exact same way. Now, let's go to IntelliChat for just a second. Because for the video, I actually want to maybe create just maybe a line that would be, let me see, like a closing promo line, or maybe it's just a 10-second ad and I want to do a line at the end. So I want to create my CTA. So I'm going to say, create a headline for Fix a fat loss burning supplement. Make it creative, like get the fix. So again, I like to use examples when I'm doing this. You guys can spend more time, obviously, going through here. If I can learn to type, it's like every word is wrong on here. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit submit. It's going to start going through, and again, you have access to all of your different models. So if I go to Cloud 535 Sonnet, I'm going to say give me 5 more. Notice I'm not having to tell it to go and do something different. It's just going to give me 5 more. And this time they're going to be run on Sonnet. So now that I have this on Sonnet, I like this one right here. Maybe get fit, get lean, the fixed solution. And I like the way it's kind of using that pH to kind of fit into it. That's great. Like, I like that. So I'm just going to copy that. Like, okay, I love that. Now I have this is great, and I could go in and I could keep, using my editor, and I could go build all these out. But really what I wanted to do is I wanted to get this because I want to cut the audio for it that I'm going to use in the video. So I just click over to my audio lab, and now I can paste this in here and I can have it. Now, if I didn't want to go to IntelliChat and I didn't want to maybe use other stuff, I could have just gone right into audio and put up my Ruby Assistant and done the exact same thing. So you're going to find how your flow works and what makes it easier, but you can get around all the places that you want. And again, Ruby Assistant can be dragged anywhere, get it out of your way, pull it back in. And again, it also uses the insert to push in. But we got our text there. And I really want this deep trailer voice. That's what I want on this. So I'm going to go down to Tom, a trailer narrator, and I'm going to cut my audio. So I'm just going to hit generate, just like you do in the audio lab. It's going to go and create my voice.
Get P hit, get lean, the P-Chicks revolution.
Okay, now look, when you're doing this, you're going to need to know phonetically how to do this because it's not going to know how to say those things, right? So I want to phonetically come in and put this stuff here. Let's try it again.
Get fit, get lean, the fit revolution.
So I've got my audio. I say I like it. Maybe I actually want to have a little bit of a pause here, not just that. I'm actually going to put a dash in and I'm going to try it one more time. Guys, when you're doing audio, it might take 2 or 3 times.
Get fit, get lean, the fit revolution.
Like, I really like that one the best. Okay, so now I'm just going to go up here. Notice it's right here. Like all of my takes that I've done, they're all right here on my right side. I'm just going to hit insert. Okay, and now my audio is in there. Now, I also might want to put a piece of music behind it, right? So I can go to our music lab and our Ruby Music. And inside of Ruby Music, I can create my instrumentals exactly the same way. Let's say I want to put something a little bit, a little grungy maybe on it. Maybe I'll come over to, I might use our new one, maybe Mafia Trap 2. So I'll come into Mafia Trap 2. And I don't know why that didn't load up, but we'll move on. Okay, so I like it. I'm just going to put in here Mafia Trap 2 fix. Okay, so now I got it. I'm going to go ahead and save and insert. See how it says save and insert? So now it's going to automatically save my file to my library. But without me having to go to the library, I can save it and I can drop it immediately into my files, into my audio files. Okay, so I have it there. Now I also might want to look at my images. And so if I go to my images, I can again pull in other images or do anything that I want inside of here. So maybe I want to connect a person in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that as well. So I'm getting some different assets in there. Okay, so let's go over here and let's look at all the things that we brought in. We got our videos, our video clips. We already know that. I'm going to pull this back over to the beginning of it. And by the way, if you look at the timeline, you'll see that there's a place for me to scale up and down. If you hit fit view, it takes the entire thing and puts it inside. And I like to work in fit view most of the time. But sometimes I might want to get really close to it and really make a big decision on where to cut it. I can get it real fine and make sure that my cut comes to the right place. Well, how do you make a cut? You just do like everything else in the world today. You highlight the clip you want and hit split clip. And it will now create that into 2 clips. Okay, you see there's 2 different clips here. Now, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can kind of trim them before you drop them in, but this is the easiest way. I want to undo that now. So I'll undo that. My clips are all back. I want to go back to fit view so I can see all of my timeline, all of my clips that are in my timeline on this at one time. And now I can kind of start putting this together. Okay, now let's look at our audio. We have our trailer.
Get fit, get lean.
We have our music. Okay, so we have all of this all ready to go. We have our image that we dropped in as well. We can see that. It's right there. And now let's go and say images. What do you have to have, though, to start to build something that you're going to have a way to bring a logo in? So we're going to image, and I'll just upload the image. So now you can see that I have a logo. If I just click on the logo, it's going to drop it in. Okay, so I have it sitting here on my timeline. Any clip that you bring into an editor, you can move it around. But you see how it's cutting it off? It's just because it's bringing it in. You can use however you want. If I double click it, you can see that I can bring in the whole clip now. Okay, so now I'm bringing it all in, and I can see everything I want. And if I just grab a corner, I can actually make it fit whatever size I want. Okay, so it's easy to move these things around. Now, I can't see the chat, and so I'm just going to look through here. Corey, anything good, anything new that anyone's stumbling on?
It's really quiet. I think people are just as amazed as I am sitting here watching this. You take a step back, and it's crazy to see how it all comes together. It looks easy.
It is easy.
Pam says, very user friendly.
It is easy. So here we go. Let's keep going. Let's go keep building on this. So, okay, I've got my logo in here. That's great. But I actually want some elements to it too. Now, I can do a couple things, right? I could go into shapes, and I can put all kinds of shapes. I can change the colors of these shapes. And I could do a lot of things with them. I can actually go into these shapes, and I can actually change blend modes. So like if I wanted to make it screen, so it's just kind of like a little bit of a transparency, I can do it that way, and it keeps it bright. If I wanted to keep it normal and I wanted to just change the opacity, I can just change the opacity of it. I can do it like this. And you know, when I can duplicate these, I can start getting all kinds of cool little patterns that I could do, because you can see how they lay over and over and over. And this, guys, is why I keep telling people that those one button push things are great. If you have absolutely no skill set, or you just want to do something that's not going to be, you know, a big deal later, it's fine. But if you're wanting to do something that's along your brand, and you want to do something that's great, then you've got to have some creativity, and you can play with this stuff, and you can do it all right here without breaking the creative workflow. Now, I also up at the top, I didn't finish going through the whole menu at the top, but you'll see at the top, there's a fit to page. It's just going to keep everything in there, or you can zoom out so that you can see all the little handles. Now, I like to keep my stuff clean. Okay, so I can go through in each one of these boxes that I was going to put over there. You see that little red line? It snaps right to the edge of the canvas, so you don't have to really worry about getting it perfect. It just get it to where the red line is there, and now all my stuff is contained. I don't have anything hanging out the side. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make the video outside the canvas, but for my OCD, that just doesn't work. So it works for however you want to do it. Now, I've got all these little cool boxes. I've made my little designs over here, and I can play with them and drag them around, get whatever I want. I want fix to be on the top level. Okay, so as you can see, all of those little boxes I made are adding to my timeline. Now, you also can see that I have, wherever my cursor is on the timeline, and I'm putting stuff in there, that's where it's going to go. Now, if I wanted at the very beginning, I could have just moved my cursor back, and it would be starting from the very beginning. But I can make these as long as I want. I can make them the whole length. I can keep them where I want, you know, them to go, and I can change them or whatever. So now we've got this thing with my boxes and designs there. I have my logo. But as you can see, my logo is underneath some of these. See how it goes underneath some of those? A couple of ways you can do that. One, I can drag just the clip, and I can start putting the clip above certain things. Or I can just click on this little button right here. Okay, so I've got my fix highlighted. I click on this little button, and it lets me bring to front. Okay, this is the way I get everything. So I want to bring it to the front. And now you can see that my lines are all on top of my boxes. So now I've got that on the top, and I've got that there. All right, so let's keep building this out. Now, the next thing, and I don't really need this long video clip over here either. I don't need that, so I'm going to delete that off. I'm actually going to make this like a little, I'm going to do 10 seconds. I'm going to do like a 10-second little trailer ad, okay? Now, I want my logo to be there the whole time, so I'm going to drag all these out to 10 seconds so that they're there. And you guys can keep, you know, these going however you want to. It's just personal preference how you bring all this stuff in. Okay, now I've got all this done. You can see how those boxes change because it's on a blend mode, right? So they're transparent, so whatever's darker behind them will actually come through. just something you can look at, and we can just play it, just see how they work. Okay, so pretty good so far. Now I want to also bring in maybe a sample of the product. Okay, so I have a cutout of that. So I'm going to go back to my images, and I want to bring in another file. So I'm going to go to my file now, and I'm going to go find this one little piece that I want to use. It's a piece of the packaging of the product. Okay, so now I have it inside. I can just click it, and it brings it into the thing. And okay, so one of the things about this is it's got this independent sales representative thing at the bottom, and I don't want that. So how do we get rid of that? Well, this little crop button right down here that's there, the little white one, I just take and drag it and cut it off. Okay, so now I don't have that. I now have my product. It's a little big for me. I'm going to bring it down. And so now I've got the logo, got a little design that's sitting on it, and I've got the logo piece. Okay, what's missing? Well, we got to have a headline, all right? So we have to have some kind of a title on it. So I'm going to go to my text. I'm going to add a title. And just like that, I've got my title. And you see how it's dropping them into certain places again. I want these to be the whole length, so I'm just going to drag them all out. So I'll pull it here to the front and pull them out. So now I have my title. I'm just going to double click the text. And I'm going to click the black button right here because I want to change it to white text. And then once I'm there, I'm going to actually close the fill because I actually want to look at the font. Now my fonts here, I can go and choose my font. I'm actually going to want to use Montserrat. But for my title, I want it to be really thick. So I'm going to use the black style of Montserrat. I also want to type it. So I'm just going to double click it, and I'm going to type what I want. I'm actually going to say feel the fix. Okay? So I got feel the fix. Now that font, I can make it a little bit bigger. Well, how do I do that? Well, I go back over to my text settings, and I just have a drop down, or I can actually double click and put a number. So I'm going to put 24. It's actually pretty good. I like it at 24. I tell you what I don't like. And again, this is preference. I don't like having boxes of things. See how it hangs over this? So if I click here, it's still seeing this box on the top. So I like to keep all of my stuff really neat. And so there's this little advanced setting right here. If I click that, while having my feel the text, I can go to frame behavior. If I click the left, it keeps it where it's all contained. Okay, so now I'm keeping it clean, and I'm getting it so that all of my stuff is just having the bounding boxes only around the actual piece. Guys, this can be done in a million different ways. You're talking to you're listening to a person who has done this for 35 years on editing. I just have my ways. You can do it however you want to make it as fast as you want to, or as detailed or as nitpicking as you want to. It's totally up to you. That's the beauty of having you involved with the AI, right? So now I have feel the fix. I have this. This is all working great. I'll just tell you, I'm not loving all the boxes. And so one of the things I'm going to do is I think it's okay, but it's just, I don't know. It's not what I'm really thinking of this. I'm actually going to go over and I'm going to bring in one more file that we had some layers put together that were part of the brand. So now I have another piece that's part of the brand. I'm going to click in, and you can see it's kind of got the waves to it. Again, I want to make sure that I'm using the whole piece. So I've got all of it on the crop part. Why wouldn't it let me? There we go. Okay, so now I got to pull this out. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me bring it back in again. Did something to it. Let me bring it back in again. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it to the side, and I want to make sure that it fills up the whole side over there. And then I also want to make sure that I get all of the circles. Okay, so I don't want them to grow, but I do want to make sure I have them all. Now, I don't need them that far into the piece, so I'm just going to slide it over. And now you see that everything's in the back. So I actually want to send this backwards. And again, how do you do that? You can come up here and send it backwards. And you can see that every time I hit it back, it's just lowering it down into the layers. Now, I also want to make sure maybe all of this stuff is moved over onto that instead of hanging over it. So I'm going to slide this in. I might even make fix a little smaller. Okay, feel the fix. And then I've got my one piece right here. All right, so now I have all of this stuff. I want to make sure it's the whole length. And I can play and make sure that everything is in good place. Okay, I actually saw something at the very beginning. See it? It's gone. So I want to make sure that all of our frames are there. Make sure it's good. So now I've got what I want. I've got my little pieces there. I've got my video playing. I've got my layers on. And now what's missing is the audio and the video. So let's go ahead and take those two. So I'm going to turn this off because I don't like it to keep looping when I do it. I'm going to go to my audio. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drop in my music bed. So I've got my music there. I'm just going to drop it in. And you'll see that it'll drop it straight into wherever your piece is. So let's. Okay, so now I've got my audio. It's all good. Everything's looking great. So I guess the next piece would be to bring in the last section of our audio, which is our voice. So I'm going to bring in Tom, and I'm just going to grab it at the end. It's going to narrow it down to wherever it is, right? So we have lots of time here that we want to play this other music around. I want to fit my view again just to make sure I kind of have everything that's sitting there, and I'm pretty happy with where it is. Like, okay, I've got my dissolves there. I don't have my audio, and I'm going to actually have my voice come in.
Theme, the fifth revolution.
Okay, so I've got my audio there, and then it's going to end. Okay, so now I have it where everything is. One thing I probably need to do is adjust the levels of my music.
Get fit, get lean, the fit revolution.
Okay, so I might want to lower my music down a little bit. If I just click on my music track, you'll see that I have the audio right up here, levels. I'm just going to drop it down maybe to 64. And now I'll try to.
Get fit, get lean, the fit revolution.
You can hear now that you got that voice that stands up way over the top of the music. I really like it. So now that I have everything there, I actually want to play it. And there's a little toggle that says collapse timeline. If you just hover over it, I can collapse my timeline and I can actually see a bigger version of what I have. And so now I'm actually going to drag my cursor back here at the top so I can get at the beginning. I'm going to close it off so I can just see the bigger version and play it. Make sure yeah, okay. Oh, by the way, I just on some of this other stuff, you see these little action buttons on your clips. Those are also on your audio clips, okay? So you'll still be able to do the same things, but you'll see something called mute. So if you don't want that music to be playing, like let's just say that you had several different music tracks and you were trying which one was best. You don't have to take it out of a timeline and then put it back in. You can just mute that. And then if you play it, there's not going to be any music. And then you can turn it back on, and then now it will actually have that music. Okay, so you can kind of play with it that way as well. And all these clips have these abilities for you to kind of play, lots of different things that you can do with. All right, so I kind of like everything the way it is. I'm going to go up here and play it.
Get fit, get lean, the fit revolution.
Okay, so I have it. Now what? Now what do I do? Well, at the very top up here, you're going to see open. This is how you open another project that's already, if you have one that's already been built and you want to reload it back in, you hit open. You actually want to save it. You're going to hit save, and it's going to save the project that's here already, okay? And you can see that it's already saved, and we have a spelling error on the toast, so we'll fix that. But then I want to render it out. Now, you remember my settings are over here, so I've already chosen to go high def. I may want to go full HD, so I can just flip it over to that, and whatever I have it set here, this is what's going to be my rendered output. I'm just going to give it a name. So we'll call this the Fix Live Build. Okay. B-U-I-L-D. Okay, so now I've got this. I'm just gonna hit save. Now, once I hit save, it's actually gonna render my video now. And so all this is done. I'm finished. And when it's rendering it, it's actually going to store that inside of my asset manager. I already have it ready to go. If I need to go back and listen to it again, I got it. I can go to my assets. If I go to render, you didn't find it. Let me see why. I don't know why it didn't save it. It should save it right there in your assets. So I'm not really sure why it's not saving them. You found it. I went to a different project. Yeah, I see it. I see what I did. So, okay, so live build, it's right there. If I want to put that in there, I can just insert that. And now I actually have that as a clip in here. I can actually layer on top of that if I wanted to. And I could keep going through it over and over and over. Let's just say I wanted to watch this. I just load it in. Again, I just want to double click it here because I want to make sure that I have the whole video. I can actually clear off everything that's in the timeline here as well. But the way I will do this is I'm just going to cut that out. I don't want that. I'm going to just add a clip to the end of it and add that video clip of the render. Why did it? Sorry. Oh, because it's rendered. Okay, that's why. It won't let me continue to do anything because we've already rendered this out and saved it. Okay, so now I've got my fix. I got everything. You'll be able to go and find that in your assets, and you can load that, download it, do whatever you want to with it, and your video is completely finished. Now you can do the exact same thing and take it and make it for your social media. Let's just say I wanted to do a story and reel out of it. Look. It just went ahead and did it for you, and you can take it. You can actually do some extra things, like if you wanted to make it bigger for that one piece, you can do that, and you're going to have everything that you need already just to render that out into that different format, and you can hit render video, and you can have another video of that version, and you can do that just pretty quick and simple by changing your formats. Okay, so lots of things that you can do inside of the editor. Design editor, same thing. You can go in and put all kinds of crazy stuff, your Facebook covers, your Instagram posts, your reels, stories, anything that you're trying to do, you're just going to choose the same way that we're doing, over here with your down lines here. You're going to have all those set up for you and your templates ready to go. So there's the first look at Canvas Plus. The ability to jump in and out of all the stuff that you're doing, loading in your videos, your images, your anything that it is that you're wanting to go and create, they're all being done right here in front of you. So I'll do something that's fast, like let's just make a dog real quick, and we'll come down here to generate. And it'll just go ahead and just build everything right here so that you're never having to leave the actual place that everything's working and the creative flow is there. Now, when you're making your music videos or you're going out and making your posts or whatever it is that you're trying to go and create, it's just so nice to have it. And look here, when you first generate an image, you don't have to go, you just hit insert, and it's going to put that image directly into your project, and you just drop it in. It's so good, guys. Like, you can just play with this and have so much fun. Let your creativity run and just play with whatever it is that you are trying to do. Okay.
Hey, I've got a question.
Okay.
And I saw it's something I saw come up in the chat. Obviously, you're using words and credits when you're using Midjourney or IntelliChat, but as far as Canvas Plus, this compositing, it's not using credits, right? It's
not using credits. The only time it uses credits is when you do a render, and it's 1 credit per render. So when you finish everything at the very end and you hit your render, that will be the 1 credit that will be used. So you can create as many of these things as you need, and when you render it out, it'll drop it there. Now, I will talk about a couple of different pieces that are also coming in. Let's go back to Canvas Plus when we first get there, and we got to our project. We chose our project and we went forward with it. You're going to see a couple more editors that will show up down here. These will be released as we start to load and add them in. But how many people, by looking in the chat, would just love to have a photo editor? You can put all kinds of crazy filters on the video and on the image, not on the video, but on the images, so that you can go in and just do all kinds of colorization. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. Now, you have the ability for some of this already. Like if I go into, let me go to the design editor real quick. Like you have the ability on every image. Like me, this image in. Actually, you know what? I'll do it from here, just so that we can go grab one, right? So I'll go grab the dog we just did, and I'll insert that in. And so I've got my dog here. I've got it onto the canvas. I have assets down here. And look, I mean, I've got the adjustments for some of the things here. I can make them brighter, darker. I can bump up, like, you know, the basic stuff. But what if you could add like crazy filters and do all kinds of lenses and all the kinds of things you would see like in the social media world? All of that will be done in the photo editor. And it's going to show up right back on the choice of editors that you'll have coming through the project workflow. Okay, now another one of these that you're going to see down here, again, this will be released over the next few weeks as we start getting, you know, past that. Now, these were the two big ones. This sets the base for everything else that we do. But when we drop the photo editor in, you'll be able to go in and do that. You'll be able to load all your images and do crazy things. So you're also going to be able to get to the photo editor from the video, from the image lab. So you can go straight from the image lab and get to it. Another one that you're going to see down here will be Canvas Coder. And what Canvas Coder will do is it will actually be a compiler that whatever you're creating in IntelliChat that has HTML and CSS, or maybe it's done in Vite, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you want to create a landing page, you can be able to choose some templates, or you can write your own prompts, or you can use our prompts that we're going to give you to create the structure for those websites or for those email templates or whatever it is you're doing. And not only will you be able to see the code that's there as Sonnet and Google and all these other LLMs that we have here do incredible things with code, you're going to see it build it right there on the screen with you. Where you can go in and say, okay, you're going to use a placeholder maybe for your hero image. But you know how to fix hero images. You go into Midjourney, right? So you click in there and you go to Midjourney and you're able to edit your web pages right from Canvas Coder. Guys, this is the game changer. And I hope that you can see where we're going, what we're doing, and why we're light years away from everything that's else that's in the world that deals with the most powerful AI apps in the world. And we went a long time, Corey, on the editor, but I wanted to take the time to really go through it and let you see power. You can create TV ads. You can create movie trailers. You can create incredible things inside of the video editor. You can create incredible print material. I mean, you guys, this editor for the design editor, you can do all kinds of stuff. It's not just social media. When I get into looking at a project, I might want this to be at 300 DPI because I'm going to put it on a shirt. I'm going to put it on a billboard. Whatever it is you can create, you can save it as a PDF file. You can export it as images. And when you send it as a PDF file, you can blow that up to as big as you need to be blowing it up. Can't export something that's not there. All right, so let's do this.